talking. Three black girls talking. Three. Hey y'all, I'm Margot Evans.
And I'm Rochelle Truby.
And this is your girl, Edwonda White, and we are Three Black Girls Talking. Three Black Girls Talking is just a little show that we created from when we missed each other during the pandemic. We started Zooming each other and talking, you know how girlfriends do. And now we became this show that you guys love. Thank you so much for following us. And those who haven't, go ahead and subscribe and tell a friend. And thank you for watching our videos. Today, we're going to talk about something real serious. You know what I mean? We never really did get a chance to say, you know, rest in peace to DMX. You know what I'm saying? DMX, his life was very interesting, you guys. A lot of you guys don't know what this man really went through. And we're going to talk about a little bit about DMX today. We're going to talk a little bit about foster care. We're going to talk a little bit about at-risk teens and youth. And because DMX's story is really a part of all of that. And so it's a shame that at 50 years old, his life had to, you know, come to an end the way it did and stuff. So I'm going to ask you, Rochelle, because of, do you know anything about foster care, Rochelle?
Yes,
Oh,
I
you
do.
you do know? Okay.
Mhm.
Well, okay, let me tell you about DMX. DMX was, you know, in and out of foster homes a lot and got into a lot of trouble and stuff at an early age. So, what can we do for our for our boys that are in foster care to kind of improve that? Like, what do you think we could do, Rochelle?
Well, I think that maybe the foster care parents probably might want to get team them up with a what do they call, like a brother program. I
Oh,
know
uh-huh.
my friend son was going through some situations, and she got him involved with the big brother, and it really helped him out because it has somebody that they could connect to, they could talk with, you know, and somebody that was, I mean, that was young. I mean, not the same age as them, but you know, in their 20s and stuff, so that they kind of could relate to the youth more. They kind of know what was going on, and if they had any problems or issues or questions or anything, they'll feel more comfortable talking with them. You know, instead of, because sometimes some kids feel like they can't talk to adults because they might feel like they're always going to be in trouble. So, you know, maybe if they get them with like a big brother to kind of help them out, kind of guide them, and you know, talk to them, and somebody that they could feel comfortable with when they were going through certain issues.
Yeah, Margot, like, I'm gonna ask you this. Like, a lot of times when we see young boys and men that have no guidance, it's because maybe sometimes the father is not in the home or they don't have good male role models like an uncle or older brother or something to guide them. What do you think we could do to help some of these youth that are out there that are you know, I guess attracted to the street life and all that. And you know, we understand it because how are they going to feed themselves if they have no education? So a lot of our kids get either caught up in the system or get into drugs or end up incarcerated because of, you know, them being kind of thrown out there to the streets. What you think we can do to improve some of that?
I agree with what Rochelle just said about the big brother and big sister programs. You know, having someone out there that these individuals can speak to. Also, we in our families, we have men, we have women and younger men that's in our families that can also step up and talk to our family members that we know that there's just a single mother with a son or single mother with a daughter. And we as the family can step up and help that mother and say, okay, you know, I'm gonna take little Susie out today so that we can just have some time so she's not just with the mom all the time, she's with somebody else and she can have that kind of relationship with another person and she feels comfortable or he feels comfortable speaking to that individual like an uncle or auntie or whatever, but just having that sounding board other than that parent is also like a good thing that will be instilled in that child so that they can have somebody else to talk to and be around.
Okay, my whole thing is that whoever's watching this, I don't know if you're involved in that type of a role if you're a social worker or a government official. But this issue needs to be addressed. We need to improve some of those things, not only for boys, but there's a lot of girls that need guidance as well. And I don't see where they're offering that as much or whatever. So the reason why we were talking about foster care is because DMX, we know that he was raised in foster care, and a lot of the experiences that he had were not good ones. And he was, he had to go out there in the street. He was like, forget this, I'm out here, whatever. And he got into, some bad things and ran with some bad people. And basically, he just wanted to be loved. You know what I'm saying? And, his mother early on, we're not going to, I'm not going to judge anyone's choices, but early on, she basically, dropped him off at your group home or whatever the case may be, and pretty much just left him there. And he didn't even really even know why he was there. And he was pretty much angry, like, why? Like, I cannot believe you just, left me here. And so after that, it was foster home after foster home and group home, or what the different things that were broken at that time. So I feel like if we could catch our boys early, then we wouldn't have outcomes to where we have someone who had to basically raise themselves. You know what I mean? And his story is so tragic and breaks my heart. I love his music, and he just really wanted to be loved, and that was a happy time in his life, where people loved him for his music and doing his concert. Oh, I love you, DMX, and this and that. And that's with the way he felt love. And so later in his life, he wanted to get that love back again, and we saw him later on Iyanla Fix My Life. Did you see that episode, Margot? What was your interpretation of what was going on with Iyanla and
Uh,
him?
I just seen a very hurt man. He was a very hurt man, and he he wasn't receptive to whatever it is that she was trying to give at that time. He just really wasn't. We see it as being disrespectful, which he was being disrespectful, but in his head, he just wasn't he wasn't in a place to receive when they did that whole thing. I don't think that he was in a place to receive. I do, and I did, and I still do enjoy DMX's music. But when he turned over to, and I don't know when that happened, but when he turned himself over to the Lord, and when he started to do the preaching, and even in his music, and then prayers, even and during his concerts and stuff, that man right there was something that he turned himself over to the Lord, and the Lord created this man, and he was like super awesome. Like he was a really great. His demons was pushed way back in the back, and he
He
brought.
really was. He really was trying to get into his God space. And he really, he was in prayer. He was quoting the word. And he really was, because he knew he really literally went to hell and back. He literally did. And he knew he did, when he did drugs, he did a lot of things, hurt a lot of people, did a lot, and he knew it. And
Yeah,
he, at that time, when he was in his peaceful place where he was like preaching to people and telling people, hey, God, when it come down to this and that, people didn't understand, why he was there. But he was on a spiritual journey, and he was trying to stay clean and trying to fight those demons and trying to do whatever. And then, it ended up that he used again, and it was part of his demise. But he really, in his later years before he passed away, rest in peace to you, DMX, he really was a spiritual person, and he really was trying to be clean and really trying to do what God wanted him to do. Rochelle, go ahead, Margot.
had that been that man that was very spiritual in front of Iyanla, I think that would have penetrated him differently than it did when that actually aired out
Right, right, because he didn't get to that place until later.
later.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And I've watched the interview recently, You know, after DMX actually passed, I watched it again. And now that I'm seeing some things, you know, wow, you know, what he would have been going through at that time. And Iyanla at that time had to explain herself because she looked like she was just like dogging him out or whatever, that her ego was hurt or whatever. But she's been on interviews recently explaining what was going on during that situation. You know what I'm saying? And that she was trying her best. You know what I'm saying? Even her son was like, "Hey, wait a minute, bro." You know what I'm saying? You know, it got there, and they didn't show a lot of that. So my whole thing is, we're gonna go back to the situation of, we're not saying that foster care is the reason, but we're saying that foster care and group homes and things like that were a big part of his life. And if we look at that man and his journey from that 6 or 7 or 8 year old little kid, of where his journey went, if he had the Big Brother program or someone mentoring him, you know, then maybe we could have saved him from the streets. You know what I mean? Maybe he still would have been DMX, but he may have been on a different tip on what he was rapping about, or maybe he would have had somebody to check him and say, bruh, not on my watch. You know what I mean? But he didn't have anybody to watch. You know, the streets was watching him, his homies was watching him, his whatever. And then when he became DMX, where people could make money off of him, then now they're manipulating and doing whatever they can and keeping his vices, you know, in check so that they can what? Control him.
Right.
Okay, and he allowed it because he just wanted the love. These people, I just want to be loved. Everybody loved DMX, and at that time, that's the what gave him the high that he was looking for, past the drugs or whatever. So it's a tragic situation. Rochelle, I'm gonna go to you and say, when you see, what is your image of when you see at-risk teens, like you see a teenager walking down the street or under the, you know, the freeway overpass or underpass, whatever, and you know they don't have a home or whatever, what do you think about that? Do you just go, well, that's not my business? Or do you ever think like, wow, you know, what could I do to help?
Well, I do feel bad for them. I never really thought about what I could do to help because I don't know. I feel kind of leery about just picking up, you know, people off the street, but I do feel bad for them. Like, you know, sometimes when I see people, like every now I might pray for them, like driving down Long Beach Boulevard and I see these young girls out there, you know, selling their bodies and stuff like that. I'll pray for them. And there was this lady I knew and she used to go and talk to him and witness to him, but the pimp was always around, you know, and he would get in her face and stuff. And I was like, man, I wish I could be strong like that, where I could, you know, try to witness to these girls, because some of them are just, you know, lost souls. And same with young boys, you know, they look for being in gangs or whatever as a sense of family because they want to feel loved and they want to feel connected to someone. So it is really sad that our youth is like that. And so I think that we just need to pray, you know, pray for them more. And you know, like I wish I could feel like that. Like if I saw somebody, I could just bring them home and take care of them, or, you know, love on them and stuff like that. But you just don't never know what you're dealing with. But I did want to make one comment about DMX. I know that DMX was, I remember in the 90s, I used to go to a City of Refuge and he attended that church. And so I know that he was trying to fight those demons. And sometimes, you know, when you become a Christian, people think that life is going to be easier, but that's when the devil starts to attack you more, because he doesn't want you to be happy. He doesn't want you to be like, you know, praying and trying to be with God and doing the things that DMX did. I didn't, that's interesting that you guys were, I've been hearing little bits and pieces of that. So I didn't know that how big his journey was as, you know, trying to be a Christ follower. So I didn't know he was out there witnessing stuff, but I have seen little bits and pieces about how he has said certain prayers and stuff for people and everything like that. So I'm sure the devil was trying to attack him, and that's why he probably went back on the drugs, because stuff in your, you know, the enemy will start to tell you stuff in your head, and make you feel a certain kind of way. And so that's when you have to just get on your knees and pray and rebuke that. But yeah, so thanks for sharing that information about him, because it makes me see certain things in a different light. As far as I knew that he was fighting demons, but I didn't know that about the foster care with his mom and everything. So, it's and like you said, we're not saying foster care does that, but sometimes kids do get lost in the shuffle. And so I felt like he just got lost, so
Yeah, we're giving like the generic story, but his
right.
story is so tragic. It's so
So
sad and upsetting.
right,
We're not gonna go into details. We're not gonna judge nobody because we weren't there. And let us say right now we don't know the
right,
specifics of what really, 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 really happened. We just know what we've been told in terms of foster care and what his mom early on just was like, I'm out, you know what I'm saying? And we know that to be facts. So that's all we're gonna speak on. We don't speak on the rest. But if that same boy at 6, 7, 8 had someone to pick him up where she dropped off and said, hey, you know what? Let's play this basketball. Hey, let's do this. Oh, you like rapping? You like poetry? Hey, let's do this. And he was still DMX. Then, it possibly could have been a different story. You know what I mean? So, Margot, we're going to give final words of encouragement for those young people out there. Also, for people who do see those young people, I do agree with Rochelle. You can't just be going and picking up people and stuff like that. You don't know what they into. And these teenagers, they dangerous now. They get you killed or they'll kill you,
Right.
rob you, and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? A
Yeah.
lot of the crimes that are committed now are teenagers. I'm
Yeah.
talking about 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old people, and they ain't playing no games because they need to eat and they'll kill you. They don't love you. You know what I'm saying? They trying to do what they gotta do.
Right.
Okay. So you can't just be picking them up, but there are other things that we could do. So Margot, give some encouragement or tell me a solution of something that we could do for these at-risk teens, the improvement, maybe even the foster care. You've dealt with you have MSW, you social work, right?
No, no,
No. Oh, okay. But anyway, I know you have your master's. You were like, no, 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 no,
no.
no, not that. That's another one of my friends who is. So tell me what we can do.
There are agencies out there, and I don't know any offhand, but there are agencies out there. If you do see like a group of at-risk youth or teens or whatever conversion in like an area, you can get in touch with those agencies and let them know. I've been seeing a group of teens in this area, and then they are equipped, the MSWs and the social workers and everything. They are equipped to go and speak to these young people and offer them services and things like that. So if you see them, just let people know. I mean, it's very disheartening to see young kids out here hustling and surviving, and a lot of it has to do because the mom, the dad, the whoever were caring for them could no longer care for them. They maybe have been in foster care, and they get to a certain point and they're done with, because I'm just gonna say, and I mean, I'm not trying to say the negative part about foster care, but a lot of people that I've heard, do foster care just for the money, just to get paid, and they really don't care about.
Yeah, they get that check, and yeah, I've heard that too. Now, there are some really great foster moms, and I hear a lot of very good success stories. But I hear more of the people just getting a check and this and that, not really even spending the money on the kids and stuff like that. And we need to cut that out. So, finish, Margot. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, and those are,
Yeah.
I feel, the kids that are out here on these freeways and living under the freeways and out here selling their bodies and doing that because they got to the certain age where that foster parent wasn't getting any more money for that child, and they said, all right, you're done and you need to figure out your life. And that's what they figure out. So, foster parents, you guys really need to do your job and make sure that these kids are taken care of. Don't just do it for a check. Do it because you love to take care of kids, because you want to see this person excel, even if you have to figure out their next part in life to help them on their way if they can no longer stay in your home because they're 18 or whatever. But help them get a job, help them to have some life skills, to do something. So just love on these kids so that they don't have to live even harder life that they have been, because it is a lifetime. Your parent just dropped you off somewhere. That's just a lifetime of hurt. That's you just hurting for the rest of your life. It don't matter. Probably won't even matter if your foster parent loved you or not. You just feel that all the time. But it can kind of soften the blow if your foster parent or whoever's caring for you really care for you. So yeah.
Yeah. Rochelle, final words or encouragement or with regards to at-risk teens, foster care, or anything at all, or even the life of DMX?
I feel like the foster care system is a great system. It has really helped a lot of children that were out there that didn't have a home. And I do agree with you. I heard some stories, that people just do it for the money. But I have friends that are foster parents, and they're really good to the children and stuff. And they invest time. And I even have one friend. She's going to adopt the kids that she has, because that she has that heart for that. So, I do think the system is a good system for kids. And it's just really sad that, because I really did enjoy DMX music, and I was a fan of his. And it's sad that he had to go that way. But I mean, I rest assured that he's with the Lord, because once you turn your life over like that, even though the way that he died, God still had him. So, that's
I
my final
believe that
words.
too. I really believe that, Rochelle, and that's the reason why we tied his name into the topic, because his life, he really was born to do, or he believed he was born to do what he's doing, and I truly believe he was too. And I wish that he had not passed away tragically the way he did and everything, but and also during the pandemic, a lot of people would have wanted to celebrate his life a little bit differently than what they did. But my final words is more to the responsibility of everyone. The point is that there's no one person that is at fault when a young boy or a young black man or Latino man or whatever it is goes astray. It's not one person that you could point at. It's not the mother. It's not the father. It's not just the foster care system. It's not just the streets. It's not just the social worker. But I do want to say, fathers, when you have children, it's very important. Even if you fight with the baby mama, even if you don't get along or don't like her, you made this child together. And a lot of times, the absence of the father really throws the balance off when it comes to the boys, specific girls too, because girls end up making different decisions when she doesn't have a father. So men who have children, if you could step up your game, please. I don't care. And I'm not just putting it on black men. That's every man. Step up your game with your children. If you have to have a separate relationship away from the baby mama, that's fine. But your child needs to know, well, I can go to my dad's, or I'm gonna talk to my dad about that. Yeah, when my dad's coming over on Wednesday. And when you say you're gonna do something, just do it and be consistent in their life. You may not see them every day, but that time that you do spend with them makes a difference in how their whole life turns out. I don't know about anything about DMX particular about his father. I'm gonna Google that and see but he never mentions it, which means that basically,
He wasn't.
he was absent. Maybe he was there early on in the life. I don't know. I have to look that up. But obviously, if she had that much power to just say, you know what, I'm about to leave you right here, and I got to do what I got to do, then evidently the father wouldn't be like, "Hey, where's my son at?" You know what I'm saying? You know, we going to go get him or something, right? So I don't know what that was, but we as a community, all the way around, have to take responsibility. And I would like to see fathers of all races step up their game in terms of being there for their children. So everybody just say bye. One time you say bye, Margot, you say bye, Rochelle, and then we gonna go. Go ahead. Just say bye.
Bye.
Say bye and
Bye.
say we are three black girls talking, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
black girls talking. Three black girls talking.